In this world, there are only two kinds of people. To win, you must become overwhelmingly strong. Wealth and glory are privileges for the powerful. You must crush those above you with pure power. A violent global show called Fight Rankings begins. But in a quiet classroom, a student is startled. A group of bullies surrounds our boy, Camino. He panics, pleading for his phone back. The lead bully just laughs in his face. They're nothing but scum who prey on the weak. He begs, explaining he worked part-time for it. The bully turns to their leader, Sakata. The stolen phone is passed to him. The blonde leader inspects it like a cheap toy. This is Sakata Toshiro, a true powerhouse. He possesses both intelligence and physical might. The son of a president, he rules with violence. Without a word, Sakata crushes the phone. It falls to the floor, completely shattered. Camino scrambles, relieved it still works. But Sakata notices a small cut on his hand. His cronies immediately panic over the injury. They turn on Camino, demanding an apology. They scream that it's his fault Sakata is hurt. Camino stares back, utterly bewildered. The cronies laugh, demanding he apologize. The entire class just watches in silence. Camino trembles, his voice caught in his throat. He kneels before Sakata, forcing out an apology. But Sakata demands he perform the usual ritual. Camino's eyes widen in horror, begging them no. He feels trapped by a sea of judging eyes. With no other choice, he licks the dirty floor. He repeats his apology, utterly humiliated. The bullies erupt in a chorus of cruel laughter. One of them pours a can of coffee on him. The cold liquid splashes over his head and uniform. He looks up, his spirit completely crushed. Just then, a teacher appears in the doorway. But he simply tells the class to take their seats. Even the faculty is powerless against Sakata's family. This school is nothing but Sakata's personal empire. To his tormentor, Camino is less than an ant. He can never win against someone born with everything. After the ordeal, Camino returns home. His sister Chica greets him at the door. She cheerfully mentions buying flowers for their dad. Camino approaches a small memorial in their home. It's a photo of their late father. The two siblings work hard just to support each other. His life is a catalog of misery and pain. But even in this hell, he has one escape. Tonight, the bloody carnival begins again. A no-rules tournament to find the world's strongest fighter. 500 fighters claw their way up the ranks. A brutal spectacle streamed to millions worldwide. He's completely hooked on the fight rankings. His sister watches, used to his obsession. What excites him most are the underdog victories, where the desperate challenge the absolute champions. These are life-or-death battles where upsets happen. A single victory can completely change your life. Camino's own enjoyment is capturing these moments. He sketches the fights with frantic energy. In this world of fighters, he can forget his weakness. The stream announces a special feature, a look back at the legends of the sport. And among them is his absolute favorite, the legendary Kongo Takeshi, a Japanese icon. His style was simple, never ever retreat. Camino watches, completely starstruck. But at the peak of his fame, he vanished. He disappeared years ago without a single trace. The next day in art class, a new theme is announced. The students are told to draw what they admire. The theme is admiration, but Camino is stumped. Then an idea strikes and his pencil moves. The art teacher notices his sudden focus. She walks over, impressed by his work. Camino is surprised by the praise. He's drawn a man locked in fierce combat. It's his hero, the legendary fighter Kongo. He explains his deep admiration for Kongo's spirit. The teacher praises his passion and skill. But from the back, another student watches. A blonde classmate scoffs, unimpressed. Camino walks home, proud of his drawing. Suddenly, a hand yanks him by the hair. He's dragged into an alley by the blonde student. A brutal kick sends him into the trash. The bully Sakata now holds his artwork. He mocks Camino for getting praised over nothing. Camino desperately begs for his drawing back. Sakata smirks, feigning ignorance of its value. A cold dread washes over Camino's face. Sakata flicks open a lighter, setting it ablaze. He calls the burning paper a work of art. Camino watches in absolute horror. He lunges forward, trying to save his hero. He snatches the burning remnant from Sakata's hand. Camino frantically tries to smother the flames. He manages to save a charred piece of his art. A fist smashes into his face without warning. Camino hits the trash, stunned by the blow. Sakata's face contorts with absolute rage. A single murderous thought crosses his mind. His entire crew descends upon Camino. Camino questions why he suffers under a rich bully. His thoughts spiral into pure, helpless anger. He can only sob as the beating continues. Sakata stands over him, mocking his defeat. But from the ground, Camino grabs his pant leg. The bully turns, shocked by his defiance. Sakata's patience is gone, he threatens to kill him. He unleashes a vicious kick, ending the fight. But suddenly, the bullies freeze in their tracks. Camino lies broken and defeated on the ground. A voice cuts through the tension from the alley's entrance. A bearded man walks into the scene. He seems annoyed by the high school drama. The stranger now stands between them all. Sakata scoffs, dismissing him as a homeless man. The man warns him not to underestimate people. Camino looks up, his eyes widening in disbelief. He recognizes the man, it's his hero, Congo. Camino's eyes flutter open in his bed. He jolts awake, seeing Congo eating. He points, realizing it's fighter Congo. He asks why his hero is in his house. The kid can't process what's happening. Congo casually explains how he scared off the bullies. He then asks if the beatings are common. Camino's hesitation tells him everything. Congo holds up the charred drawing from the fire. He nervously admits it's his work. This isn't the hero he expected. Congo asks if he has any more drawings. He reveals sketchbooks filled with fighters. Congo is amazed by the sheer quantity. He opens the door to a shocking sight. The entire room is buried under his art. Congo is completely stunned by the dedication. He asks what the purpose of all this is. Camino says he just loves drawing them. Congo stares at him, an idea forming. He suddenly crushes a drawing in his fist. He grabs the kid, checking his physique. He asks about any martial arts training. He holds up a drawing of a kick. Camino protests, but Congo tells him to try. Camino stammers, filled with self-doubt. He can't believe his hero would care. He throws a weak, clumsy kick. Congo immediately corrects his terrible form. He demonstrates the proper arm movement, then shows how to twist from the waist. He unleashes a kick with blinding speed. Camino is left stunned by the raw power. Congo explains the key points of the move. He gives the kid one simple instruction: imagine. Imagine the perfect form from his drawings. The words echo in the paper-filled room. Camino centers himself, ready to try again. He visualizes the fighter he always drew. His body begins to mimic the art. His eyes widen with sudden understanding. He takes a deep breath, preparing to strike. Congo watches his every move, waiting. Camino's body twists into motion. His leg snaps upward with incredible force. He executes a flawless high kick. Congo catches the blow just before it lands. The fighter is genuinely surprised by the talent. Camino pants, asking for his mentor's verdict. Congo stares, mentioning the Ice Emperor. Congo asks if he knows the name. The Ice Emperor, humanity's strongest fighter. A man with no training, only artistic talent. He tells Camino he's completely unaware, that he shares the same gift as a legend. The revelation leaves Camino utterly stunned. Congo grabs him, his expression fierce. He asks if he's tired of being weak. He's going to teach him a one-hit kill, a technique designed for the bullied. It's time for the underdog's revolution. 1 week of brutal training passes. Back at school, the lead bully is furious. He seethes, calling out his target. Camino stands before him, strangely calm. He grins, offering to repeat the insult. He calls the bully a coward in front of everyone. The bully's rage finally boils over. He lunges forward, grabbing Camino's collar. But inside, our boy is panicking hard. He flashes back to his training with Congo. He remembers protesting, full of self-doubt. Congo forced him, insisting they just try. Camino screamed that he wasn't a fighter. Then Congo threw him into the perfect move. Congo slams him with a devastating blow. He roars that the underdog revolution has begun. But Camino is just broken and terrified. He insists that someone like him can't do it. He compares himself to his bully, Sakata. He was born poor, weak, and without talent. His stats are pathetic, he must obey the strong. He can never be like the charismatic Congo. He's completely lost in his own despair. Congo finally cuts him off, pointing fiercely. He tells Camino those words are a curse. He asks a simple question: why are strong people strong? Because they believe without a doubt in their own strength. Camino argues that's easy for Congo to say. But Congo reveals a shocking truth. He was once bullied just like Camino. He was once a small, shy, and poor kid. Camino can't believe what he's hearing. Congo recalls the daily beatings and humiliation. But one day, everything changed. The bullies turned their cruelty on his family. They crossed a line that could not be uncrossed. In that instant, something inside him snapped. He flew at them, throwing his first ever punches. Congo grins, remembering the turning point. He admits that in the end, he was beaten senseless. Camino is completely stunned by the confession. But that was the moment his real life began. The legendary Congo was once a bullied kid. Suddenly, Congo grabs him by the shirt. He leans in with a sharp, intense look. Camino can only stare back in terror. Then he's thrown across the entire room. He slams hard against the wooden door. Congo roars that Camino can fight too. Our boy is just frozen in shock. He tells Camino he has a wonderful talent, a power he calls reproduction power. Camino has no idea what he means. He can reproduce images from his mind onto paper, but he can also reproduce them with his body. That perfect kick from earlier was the proof. This mountain of notebooks is his true strength. He tells Camino he is not weak. He just needs to believe and change his life. The words hit Camino like a lightning strike. Congo's fist is held right before him. He asks one last time, "What do you want to do?" Camino's hand slowly clenches into a fist. He's sick of being everyone's punching bag. A fire ignites in Camino's eyes. He clenches his fist, a single thought burning. He just wants to land one punch. Congo laughs at his modest goal. He tells him to aim for total victory. The kid is shocked, but the deal is sealed. But Congo warns him about the main bully. He says a straight fight is unwinnable, but he has a wicked grin on his face. The plan: master one technique in 1 week. His reproduction power is the key. 1 week later, it's time to change everything. The day of reckoning has arrived at school. He heads straight for classroom 3-1. Our boy steps through the door. The whole gang is waiting for him. The leader calls him out for his absence, but Camino just walks forward silent. He stands before them, unafraid, a strange, unsettling smile on his face. His eyes are completely blank, almost inhuman. The bullies are suddenly terrified of him, but inside, Camino is steeling himself. He takes a deep, steadying breath. Then he pulls out his phone. He holds up his phone, showing them a photo. It's a picture of them humiliating another student. A flashback reveals he secretly recorded their crimes. He threatens to post the evidence on social media. He asks what that would do to their lives. The gang just stares back, completely unfazed. Their leader casually enjoys a lollipop. He scoffs at Camino's pathetic attempt at a threat. He asks if the homeless man put him up to this. The leader looks down on him with pure contempt. He says he'll teach him his place. He lectures about an unchangeable social status. He declares that trash should submit to the powerful. Then he pours a drink over Camino's head. He orders his goons to beat him and take the phone. One of the thugs lunges forward to attack. The leader turns away, laughing at the show. But suddenly, Camino starts to cry. He sobs, asking why they won't fight him themselves. The gang freezes, confused by his breakdown. The leader's lollipop stick snaps in his mouth. His face contorts with pure, unadulterated rage. Camino trembles, muttering that he's terrified. But he steels himself, ready to follow the plan. A flashback to Congo's lesson begins. Congo explains the key to victory. He asks when an attack is most predictable. The answer is always the first strike. Control that and even Camino can win. The lesson finally clicks for our boy, but he doubts he could ever predict an attack. Congo reminds him of his painful experience. A memory of the leader's signature kick flashes. Camino correctly identifies the right front kick. This is the secret to turning the tables. Back in the present, the leader is enraged. Camino stands firm, ready to repeat his insult. He calls him a coward who hides behind his gang. The taunt hits its mark perfectly. Onlookers whisper that Camino is a dead man. The leader's reputation is terrifying. He steps forward, ready to end this. Camino's eyes are wide, watching for the tell. The leader draws back his kicking leg. He unleashes his signature front kick. It's exactly the move Camino was waiting for. The plan flashes through his mind. He dodges to the side with everything he has. The powerful kick smashes into empty air. The entire gang is frozen in disbelief. The gang's faces are blank with shock. Camino exploits the opening with a brutal counter. A flashback to Congo's lesson on turning the tables. Camino was terrified, unsure he could do it. But Congo's expression was deadly serious. The kid's eyes were wide with fear. He protested that the move wasn't fair. Congo reminded him this is a real fight, no rules. Back in the present, he unleashes the one-hit kill. A devastating kick straight to the groin. The leader's face contorts in pure agony. He crashes to the floor, completely neutralized. Camino can't believe what he just did. He stands over his tormentor, asking if he's had enough. The defeated leader can only whimper in submission. Sakata is down, foaming at the mouth. His entire crew is paralyzed by the sight. The reality of his victory hits Camino. His legs are shaking, but he's still standing. He won just like Congo taught him. But a dark aura surrounds the fallen leader. Camino watches in horror as he begins to rise. Sakata gets to his feet, fueled by pure rage. He can't believe his perfect kick was dodged. He recognizes the dirty trick Congo taught him. Congo offers to teach him a lesson, the quickest way to beat down weak trash. The lesson begins with a kick to the groin. Camino's face contorts in absolute agony. Congo continues, grabbing him by the hair. He follows up with a devastating punch. The blow sends blood flying through the air. With a crazed look, he asks if it's simple. His crew watches, certain Camino is dead. The kid screams, overwhelmed by the pain. But he realizes it doesn't hurt as much. Congo notes the groin kick is very effective. He holds the battered Camino in place. Through the pain, a new resolve forms. The lesson ends as Congo lets him go. Back in the present, Sakata bares his teeth. He points, offering Camino a new role. He'll be put in the official fight rankings. Camino is too dazed to understand the words. Sakata repeats the offer for everyone to hear. The onlookers are shocked by the announcement. The fight rankings are a famous streaming show. Sakata taunts him, knowing it's his favorite. Camino can't believe Sakata is involved. But the leader drops a bombshell reveal. Sakata Pharmaceuticals sponsors the fight rankings. A massive corporation, the main backer. He reveals it's his father's company. Getting Camino on the show is nothing. He proposes this very school as the stage. A live-streamed fight for the world to see. Sakata's crew is thrilled by the idea. Camino imagines a global public execution. The weight of the threat crushes him. Sakata asks if he's ready for the fallout. Camino trembles, overwhelmed by fear. The crew points and mocks his tears. But Camino starts laughing uncontrollably. The sudden laughter silences the entire crew. He stands tall and accepts the challenge. With a bruised face, he says he's changed. Sakata's eyes widen in utter disbelief. The fight is set for 3 weeks from now. As Sakata's crew leaves, Camino calls out. Our boy stands alone, a new fire lit. The shock of his own words hits him. He can't believe what he just agreed to, but a strange sensation fills his body. He remembers Sakata's face, twisted in pain. Clenching his fists, he feels pure joy. He's high on the drug of adrenaline and success. He vows to win and reverse his loser life. Plus, the prize money is a huge incentive. A strange, unsettling laugh fills the classroom. Meanwhile, in the school restroom, a fist smashes into the tiled wall. Sakata unleashes his fury, his jacket flying. He seethes, humiliated in front of everyone. Public execution is too lenient, he'll kill him. Elsewhere, a large bearded man roars with laughter. He's with Camino, excited about his promotion. Camino declares he'll win the live-streamed fight. But the man asks if he truly gets the situation. Camino is confused, not seeing the danger. He explains Sakata was publicly humiliated. Sakata's real goal, to beat him half to death. The reality of the threat starts to sink in. He'll restore his honor and make an example of him. And all of it will be broadcast to the world. He imagines a brutal public humiliation. His defeat will become a viral sensation. The entire world will be laughing at him. The thought sends him into a full-blown panic. The man laughs, saying a sneak attack won't work twice. Camino panics, but his mentor just keeps laughing. The mentor's fist slams into Camino's face. He grabs the kid, telling him to get stronger. Camino asks how he can possibly do that. His mentor stands over him, ready to reveal the plan. The first step, die 1,000 times. Camino is completely lost, utterly confused. The clock is ticking, 20 days until the fight. He still can't understand what that means. His mentor explains the grim reality. If he fights Sakata now, he'll be destroyed. Sakata is a seasoned street brawler. He's a natural-born fighter with no hesitation. The kid's face drains of all color, but the mentor promises to get him ready in 3 weeks. He lays out a simple 2-step plan. The first step is a demonstration of power. He leaps into the air with incredible force. Then he runs straight up a massive tree, using his bare hands and feet as grips. Camino watches in absolute shock. He lands effortlessly on a high branch, looking down from his impossible perch. Now he orders Camino to climb up. Camino can't believe what he just saw. He reaches out, his hand shaking. The mentor stands firm on the high branch. Camino struggles his way up the massive tree. He grits his teeth, thinking he can do this. He finally reaches the top, exhausted. His mentor grins, ready for the real training. Camino realizes climbing was just the warm-up. Without warning, the mentor kicks the tree. The branch snaps, sending Camino flying. This, he declares, is the special training. Camino's face smashes into the trunk. He tumbles down, hitting every surface. He lands in a broken heap on the ground. Bloodied and broken, he thinks he's dying. He looks up, demanding an explanation. The mentor just orders him to climb again. Camino refuses, knowing it's a death sentence. Pure terror fills his eyes. He looks up at his teacher, who finally explains. The goal is to fall and die over and over. Camino's face drains of all hope. The order is given, crawl your way back up. His spirit is completely and utterly crushed. So this is what dying 1,000 times means. He questions if any of this has a point. The 20 days are over, it's match day. The bloody carnival is about to begin. A tournament to decide the world's strongest fighter. The rules are simple, there are no rules. An ultra-violent spectacle for millions of viewers. Its name is the Fight Rankings, and today's stage is something special. The venue, the private Sakata Academy. Our announcer, Ijichi Yoshinari, welcomes the audience. Alongside him is former ranker Takuma. The rules are laid out, one-on-one, no time limit. The fight only ends with a knockout or submission. Today's event is an entry rank match, a chance for new fighters to climb the ladder. The winner takes home prize money and bonuses. Viewership numbers determine the real payout. Even low-rank fighters can earn a fortune. For these men, it's the ultimate dream. The live chat buzzes with anticipation. Viewers are shocked the fight is in a school, but the commentator interrupts the hype. One fighter today isn't here for the money. The announcer calls for the fighter's entrance. The students watch, their faces filled with shock. A man wrapped in bandages waits his turn. A horn sounds, heralding a grand entrance. A bandaged herald blows a ceremonial horn. On a makeshift throne, a king appears. He's the heir to Sakata Pharmaceuticals, the undisputed ruler of this school. His followers show no mercy to his enemies. He rises to deliver a bloody judgment. He commands wealth, power, and uses his own men as a carpet. The students watch their perfect king. His name is Sakata Toshiro, a man who believes he has it all. The school chat explodes with adoration. They praise his physique and dangerous aura. His fans demand a public execution. The announcer introduces his opponent. A burst of fire signals the next entrance. A lone silhouette walks a path of flames. A boy in a simple suit appears. He's just another student from this academy, the only one who ever defied the Sakata Empire. He's been accused of countless crimes. They call him the floor licker. But in the fight rankings, strength is justice. His name is Kamino Kasuk, ready to bite back. The crowd immediately mocks his battered appearance. Every window is filled with watching students. Sakata's followers laugh at the challenger. Even Kamino can't believe he's actually here. He sees the VIPs and the endless faces. The pressure of the broadcast makes him tremble. Sakata Toshiro approaches with a false offer. Kamino is completely caught off guard. But the king's smile is a predator's snarl, promising to erase Kamino from society. A terrifying purple aura erupts from him. Kamino remembers the humiliation he endured. He refuses to go back to that life. A strange, determined smile forms on his face. He stands his ground against the talkative king. A golden fire now burns around Kamino. He declares this is the day he changes his fate. Sakata dismisses his pathetic acting. The announcer condemns the criminal's sins. It's time for the king's personal execution. Can the underdog even land a single hit? The announcer screams and the battle begins. The rules are simple, a one-on-one battle. Both fighters are checked for hidden weapons. The match ends only by knockout or surrender. The announcer adds a brutal new rule: anything is a weapon. The fighters stand ready in the classroom arena. The air crackles with tension as they stare down. The announcer prepares to introduce the fighter's seconds. He reads the card for Kamino's second, his eyes wide. He leaps to his feet, unable to believe his eyes. A mysterious figure walks into the broadcast area. A mountain of a man emerges from the smoke. The live chat explodes, recognizing the legend. The man who disappeared has returned before their eyes. He frantically questions the legendary fighter Kongo. Kongo smirks, clarifying he's not the one fighting. The announcer is left completely baffled. Suddenly, another imposing figure makes an entrance. He's the show's main sponsor, President Sakata Gazu. The corporate overlord himself serves as his son's second. A legend and an overlord face off as seconds. The president takes his seat like a king on a throne. Kongo greets the president like an old acquaintance. The president coldly dismisses him without a glance. Kongo's expression hardens at the insult, but the president refuses to acknowledge him. Kongo just smirks, same as always. A strange tension fills the air between the two men. The announcer realizes the stakes just got even higher. Both fighters return to their starting positions. Under the gaze of legends, they await the signal. Kamino clutches his chest, his heart pounding. He's trembling, fighting to keep his focus. The signal is given, the decisive battle begins. His eyes snap wide, he has to focus now. Sakata explodes from his corner, launching forward. He connects with a brutal flying kick. Kamino barely gets a guard up in time. The commentators are stunned by the opening blitz. The impact sends Kamino flying into the desks. He crashes to the floor, blood spraying from his mouth. Sakata looms over him, completely unfazed. He follows up with a vicious punch to the face. A brutal flurry of blows rains down on him. The crowd declares him dead, completely overwhelmed. The live chat is already calling it anticlimactic. The commentators are in shock, but Kongo just watches. A knowing smirk spreads across Kongo's face. But Sakata feels something different. He lands another punch, but the impact is solid. He realizes Kamino's body is harder than before. Kamino's eye glares back unbroken. He weathers the storm, looking up defiantly. Enraged, Sakata demands to know what he did. But Kamino meets the blow without flinching. Sakata's eyes widen in disbelief. He grabs Kamino, demanding an explanation. Kamino calmly states he's just guarding. A flashback reveals the secret to his training. Kongo taught him it's not about power or technique. In a fight, the first to feel fear loses. It's more than just mental conditioning. Kongo explains how the body rebuilds itself. Damaged tissue heals, leaving hard fibers behind. A brutal lesson begins without warning. Destroyed areas grow back stronger than before. The goal: turn the entire body into a callus, to become impervious to any kind of blow. He achieved years of conditioning in 3 weeks, through a process more painful than death. But it was his only path to victory. With the theory learned, practice begins. Back in the present, the training pays off. The blows still hurt, but they're bearable now. At the desk, Kongo watches his plan unfold. Sakata can't believe this is the same kid. Even Kongo admits the training was reckless. But for 3 weeks, Kamino just kept falling. He mastered the landing after seeing it once. Kamino's talent was visualizing every move. He perfectly reproduced the falling technique and practiced with an insane obsession. Back in the present, Sakata's hands stop. In that brief pause, Kamino sees his opening. He explodes forward with a counterattack. A brutal kick lands right in the groin. The commentators are stunned by the sudden turn, but the impact seems to have no effect. Sakata stands completely unfazed by the blow. He taunts Kamino, asking if he thought it landed. Another kick is easily blocked by the veteran. Sakata scoffs, knowing the same trick won't work. Kamino recalls Kongo's seemingly crazy plan. He realizes this fighting style is working. Sakata plants his foot, ready to retaliate. He unleashes a vicious blow to the body. Kamino tracks the left body shot, then the right overhand that follows. He raises his arms, trying to guard, but the punch smashes right through. A spinning kick sends him to the floor. He coughs up blood, his guard utterly broken. The entire audience watches in shock. Sakata tells him his approach is right but weak. But a brutal memory flashes through his mind. A younger Sakata stands over him, declaring this is a fight to the death. He wields 2 chairs like weapons. Back in the present, Kamino stares at his hand. He struggles to recall what just hit him. It wasn't a fist but a school desk. The brutal reality of the attack sinks in. Sakata used the environment as a weapon. Kongo explains the rules from the commentary booth. In fight rankings, you can't let your guard down. Kamino realizes this isn't a martial arts match. Sakata scoffs that it's not just bullying either. This is a real fight with no rules. This is the true nature of fight rankings. Sakata will teach him the price of defiance. Kamino struggles, bleeding out on the floor. He asks why Sakata is obsessed with status. The veteran smirks, saying he wouldn't get it. His father built the Sakata Empire from nothing. As the emperor's son, he was born to rule. He believes commoners exist to be ruled. Like his father, a king must be the strongest. He lunges, ready to crush any resistance. Kamino is stunned by his simple, cruel logic. Sakata swings the heavy desk like a club. The attack is too dangerous to block, but he plants his feet, ready to dodge. He believes he can evade the attack. Sakata hurls another chair, forcing him down. The commentators are stunned by the brutal throw. Kamino is shocked he actually threw it. He can't get close with projectiles flying. He scrambles, trying to stay a moving target, but Sakata closes the distance in a flash. The veteran taunts him, cutting off his escape. He slams a brutal knee into Kamino's side. The impact sends blood flying from his mouth. Sakata stands tall over his fallen opponent. To defy him is to deny his very existence. The commentators announce Kamino is writhing in agony. A large observer notes Sakata's kickboxing base. He's also a seasoned street fighter. He combines formal skills with dirty tactics. His unorthodox style is brutally effective. The man realizes Sakata uses both skillfully. It's a deadly hybrid of styles. Trapped under a desk, Kamino sees the end. He's buried under a pile of furniture with no escape. Sakata looms over him, declaring it's over. He knows his attacks can't reach him. Sakata looms over him, blocking all escape. This scene feels terrifyingly familiar. A flashback to his old life of submission. The online comments mock his weakness. He accepts this was an impossible game. His hope was just a foolish dream. He stares at his blood, accepting defeat. He considers begging for forgiveness, but a voice cuts through his despair. The words echo in his mind. A memory surfaces of a powerful figure. The man's words, "Believe in your strength." That memory sparks something inside him. He refuses to give in to despair. He rejects his own weakness. He remembers his vow to change everything. He plants his feet, finding his resolve. No matter what attacks come his way, he will always move forward. The bearded observer nods in approval. His new mantra, "Never look down." Sakata moves in to end the fight. The command echoes, "Step in." He steps inside the punch, landing a kick. He's inside, his eyes burning with resolve. He follows up with a powerful strike. His mentor nods, recognizing the strategy. He earned this opening with pure resolve. Now it's time for secret strategy 2. For an amateur, there's only one true attack, the one they can pour everything into. He puts his entire being behind the blow. A devastating palm strike to the chest. The impact shatters his opponent's center. Sakata's eyes roll back from the shock. The giant stumbles, winded and vulnerable. Power still radiates from his hand. He vows to win and reverse his fate. But Sakata glares back, enraged. The crowd is stunned. Kamino landed a clean hit. The commentators recognize the technique instantly. His mentor explains Kamino has two weapons. The others don't understand his meaning. The first is a body conditioned for battle. The second is revealed through a flashback. He recalls the agony of punching incorrectly. His mentor taught him a crucial lesson. An untrained punch disperses its own impact. For a beginner, a fist only hurts the user. But there is one way to focus that power. The mentor reveals a punch that can be fatal. It's the palm strike, the weapon of the weak. In another memory, he moved forward and found an opening. He seized that moment with his own two hands. Back in the present, Kamino knows the hit landed. Sakata glares back, utterly furious. An X-ray view shows the strike cracked a rib. The giant can't believe the pain he feels. He's enraged that a bottom feeder hurt him. But Kamino is no longer the person he was. From this moment on, they are equals. He declares that he is no longer a slave. Sakata bursts out laughing at his defiance. One punch won't change his lowly status. A dark aura explodes around him. It's time to end this. But Kamino's fighting spirit hasn't faded. Shaken but not broken, Sakata goes on the attack. Kamino knows he absolutely cannot back down. Both fighters steel their nerves for the next clash. Kamino lunges forward with everything he has. Sakata meets his charge with equal force. They collide in the center of the room. A spray of blood fills the air. Kamino sinks his teeth into Sakata's arm. They trade blows, both staggering from the brutal impact. The online audience watches, completely captivated. Sakata lands a vicious hook, sending blood flying. The crowd screams in shock as a body starts to fall. But it's not just one, both fighters hit the floor. They plant their feet, refusing to stay down. Both fighters are back up, battered but not broken. The crowd is stunned, they both held on. Their faces are a mix of shock and pure excitement. Sakata grits his teeth, blood streaming down his face. Kamino's face is a bloody ruin, but he's still in this. Locked in a clinch, they trade brutal headbutts. They stand their ground, trading blow for brutal blow. The commentators call it a raw battle of willpower. A blond man in a suit watches from the back, unimpressed. He scoffs, calling the fight ugly and undignified. But a large, bearded man nearby seems to disagree. He says Kamino has an incredible look on his face. Kamino staggers back, his face a swollen mess. Sakata reels back, clutching his own bruised face. Both fighters are on their last legs, stumbling apart. But Kamino roars, finding another burst of energy. He throws a desperate punch with everything left. The punch connects, a massive bruise blooming on Sakata's face. Sakata stumbles back, dazed and badly wounded. Sakata freezes, the damage finally registering. He stumbles back, completely disoriented. But Kamino plants his foot for the final attack. He unleashes a desperate, finishing groin kick. The commentators scream, horrified by the brutal move. The kick lands with sickening force. Sakata is lifted off his feet by the impact. He collapses onto Kamino, refusing to fall. Sakata glares, fueled by pure agonizing rage. The crowd is in disbelief, he's still standing. Kamino watches, stunned by his opponent's endurance. He's given everything he has and is out of options. A voice in his head tells him to keep fighting. A memory surfaces of the bearded man's lesson. When you have nothing left, you move further forward. Kamino understands the only way out is through. His eyes burn with renewed determination. Sakata finally screams, the pain overwhelming him. Kamino takes one more step into the fray. He grabs Sakata, pulling him in for the end. The bearded man watches, his expression intense. The student audience is completely speechless. Even the unimpressed blonde man is captivated. Kamino lands one last, devastating punch. Both fighters finally hit the floor, unconscious. The commentators are left completely speechless. Sakata is out cold on the mat. The announcer declares the winner, Kamino Kasuk. Through the blood, he hears his name. He won, and his body finally gives out. Medics swarm the ring as he collapses. Online, the donations begin pouring in. The audience watches the brutal aftermath. The bearded man smirks, he never expected this. This kid has talent beyond imagination. The official match results are posted. Later at the Sakata family hospital, Kamino recovers in a private room. His mentor stands watch, scrolling his phone. The fight is already trending online. News headlines praise the bullied kid's victory. He tells the sleeping Kamino he's famous now, and that his life is about to change. New challengers will be lining up. As if on cue, a new threat appears. The hospital window explodes inward. A muscular fighter lands in the room. He lunges at the bearded man with incredible speed, but the mentor blocks the attack effortlessly. He grabs the intruder and flips him. The intruder slams hard into the wall. His mentor pins him down with ease, but the attacker seems to know him well. He screams, calling the bearded man master. The mentor denies it, demanding to know why he's here. Suddenly, Kamino is awake and held upside down. The intruder mocks our boy's pitiful muscles. He flexes, showing off his own physique. The mentor realizes the intruder's true purpose. Genryu Soma, rank 300, wants to fight Kamino. Kamino finally wakes up to absolute chaos. Later, the hospital room is under repair. His mentor explains a visitor was dealt with. He laughs it off as the price of fame. Kamino is still processing his victory over Sakata, but his mentor has something important to show him. Kamino stares at the phone in disbelief. It's flooded with praise from his new fans. The mentor says he earned this recognition, and now it's time to see his reward. The prize money is a staggering 2.3 million yen. Kamino can't believe the number he's seeing. The mentor explains the massive payout potential of these fights. Their match had the perfect underdog narrative. He admits even he didn't expect Kamino to win. Kamino feigns outrage, but his mentor just laughs. The kid still can't quite believe he actually won. His mentor explains the ranking system. Kamino is a rookie. The next step, bet his winnings on another fight. Win and he'll become an official fighter. The reality of it hits him hard. He grabs his mentor, shouting in disbelief. But this is his chance to pick an opponent. A victory means taking their rank and their money. Kamino is terrified by this battle-filled life. The mentor lays out two distinct paths. He can risk it all for a new destiny, or take the money and return to his quiet life. His mentor gets in his face, demanding a choice. He's trapped, forced to look at his future. Kamino panics, unable to decide so suddenly. He's given a 1-month grace period to choose. The mentor leaves, wishing the rookie good luck. Kamino is left alone with the impossible choice. He questions if he can truly be a fighter. Later, he returns to his old life at school. He's nervous about facing his classmates again. He cautiously peeks inside the classroom door. Every single student turns to look at him. The entire class just stares in dead silence. Kamino sweats, completely baffled by the reaction. He tries to break the ice with a simple greeting. The other students stammer back, calling him by his full name. The atmosphere in the classroom is thick with tension. He spots Sakata's followers, the school's top bullies, but they just sit there completely subdued. And then the realization finally hits him. After that fight, nobody knows how to act around him. He's become an outcast in his own school. He later learns Sakata hasn't returned since the fight, but his actions had an unintended consequence. The other students who were bullied approach him. They surround him, crying with gratitude. For the first time, his school life is peaceful. It's hard to believe how much has changed in a week. As he walks home, the other students give him a wide berth, but a familiar voice calls out his name. It's his classmate and only friend, Tara Ryota. Ryota tells him he saw the entire match. He's thrilled Kamino finally got his revenge. Kamino realizes his friend hasn't changed at all. Ryota was the only one who stood by him. He suggests a victory party, his treat, but Kamino's mouth is too torn up to eat. Suddenly, Ryota shows him something urgent on the news. The phone screen shows a breaking news story. Kamino stares, his face frozen in shock. A new challenger is aiming for the entry fight star. His name is Genryu Soma, ranked 300. In the video, a reporter questions his motives. Soma explodes, grabbing the man by his collar. He screams his only goal is to crush his opponent. He then issues a challenge to a scrawny beanpole. Soma bets every last yen he has on the fight. Ryota finds it hilarious, but Kamino is horrified. The video shows Soma's overwhelming power in the ring. He leaves a trail of broken opponents in his wake. They call him the muscle-brained super ape Genryu Soma. Ryota asks if Kamino has to fight this monster. Kamino can't believe it's happening again. He remembers the terror of facing a giant. Now an even bigger threat stands before him. The thought of another fight paralyzes him. He never wanted to return to fight rankings. Lost in his dread, he walks down the street. Suddenly, a massive figure blocks his path. It's Genryu Soma, the fighter from the news. Kamino points, recognizing him instantly. The muscle-bound fighter just smiles, and then unleashes a devastating kick. Kamino hits the ground, recognizing the move. It's the same front kick Sakata used. Soma calls the attack a simple greeting. Warning, the next one will be for real. A second kick flies but Kamino dodges. He counters with a swift groin kick, but Soma catches the blow effortlessly. The giant fighter mocks his repeated tactic. Kamino stumbles back, his best move blocked. Soma taunts him about his master's teachings. Kamino demands to know why he's being attacked. Soma says he got the challenge and wants a fight. Terrified, Kamino frantically refuses. He claims he was only ever a fan. He insists he has no reason to fight anymore. Soma erupts in laughter at the excuses. He tells Kamino not to lie to him. The sudden shift in tone terrifies Kamino. Soma says his eyes betray his words. They're still burning with fighting spirit. He asks a simple question, how long? Kamino admits it's only been a month. Soma recalls Sakata trained his kicks for years. He acknowledges the rich kid had potential. How did Kamino surpass him in just 1 month? Soma gets straight to the point. He tells Kamino he has a talent for fighting. The word talent stuns our boy. Soma admits he hates being on the losing end, so he'll crush Kamino's potential right now. Kamino desperately suggests he fight someone stronger, but Soma's instincts tell him Kamino is strong. His very muscles are begging for a fight. A purple aura surrounds the giant fighter. He's been fired up since the moment they met. Kamino can only stare in absolute terror. He makes a desperate offer, fight in 1 month. Soma accepts, promising to wait for him. The giant walks away, his laughter echoing. Kamino is left alone, the threat hanging over him. Back home, he reflects on his strange new life. His sister snaps him out of his thoughts. He quickly apologizes and starts to eat. He takes his first bite of the meal. The food is delicious, better than ever. She proudly calls it potato gazpacho. He just wants this peaceful life to continue. He then notices a pamphlet in her bag. She reveals her dream of becoming a chef. She wants to study and move people with her food, but she knows they can't afford the tuition. Their family barely survives on their mom's income. He believes he should be the one to sacrifice. Kamino checks the school's staggering costs. The total is impossible, prize money won't cover it. Just then their mother bursts through the door. The kids are shocked to see her home so early. She cheerfully announces that she got fired. Kamino and his sister are completely stunned. She explains she worked for Sakata Pharma. Her boss blamed her for Kamino beating his son. In response, she slapped him across the face. She retells the story without a hint of regret. The siblings are left speechless by the news. Their situation is dire, no job, no savings. But their mother just laughs it all off. Kamino is crushed by the weight of his actions. His mother then reveals she watched his fight. For the first time, she saw him look truly alive. Her pride in him only adds to his guilt. She tries to reassure him, but it's no use. He knows this is his fault for beating Sakata. He feels trapped by his life circumstances. Later, he wanders aimlessly through a park. A bearded man calls out, sensing his resolve. He's been a weakling his entire life. Bullied on the streets, poor at home. Unable to give his sister the future she deserves. Now one win has put a target on his back. He asks the stranger, isn't it all unfair? He finally snaps, screaming about his efforts. His frustration boils over into pure rage. He vows to fight the Genryu fighter and win. The bearded man watches his declaration. He bursts out laughing, impressed by his fire. But then he tells him to just forget it. He says the fighter is completely out of his leg. Fighting him would be a death sentence. The man analyzes the opponent's MMA style. A wrestler's base, mostly grappling with some striking. But Kamino isn't planning on losing or dying. He pulls out stacks of detailed sketches. He's drawn every single one of Genryu's fights. The stranger flips down, genuinely impressed. He's analyzed his opponent's every move. He's studied and memorized every detail. He claims he can perfectly replicate any move. But there's one thing he can't copy: the massive, hopeless difference in their physiques. The man agrees, asking how he'll overcome it. Kamino says if he lacks the muscle, he'll just borrow it. His strategy is to use his opponent's power with counters. The bearded man roars, impressed by the kid's guts. He suddenly grabs Kamino, announcing a little trip. A determined glint shines in the stranger's eyes. He's taking him to his homeland. Kamino looks around, stunned to be at an airport. Their destination, Okinawa, where an armored vehicle awaits. A shredded old man in a Hawaiian shirt greets them. The bearded man asks if they have arrived. He ushers Kamino into the surprisingly luxurious vehicle. Kamino panics, worried about school and his family. But he's tossed inside, special training can't wait. Worried about money, Kamino is told it's a loan. He asks the man, Kongo, if he's even got the cash. Kongo explains that in fighting, popularity brings endless wealth. But eventually, you learn that money has no real value. Kamino listens, trying to understand this strange lesson. Congo admits his analysis was good but superficial. The opponent's true strength isn't technique. It's a pure beast-like instinct for battle. He asks a simple question: how do you counter a wild animal? The vehicle rolls to a stop in a massive, empty arena. Camino crawls to the door, completely bewildered. Then with a swift kick, Congo sends him flying out. Congo stands at the door, yelling a final warning. Camino looks up to see a massive bull emerging. The beast lets out a terrifying roar. Pure, unadulterated terror fills Camino's eyes. The animal towers over him, ready to charge. This isn't a metaphor, it's a real, monstrous bull. Congo laughs maniacally, the beast training begins. Camino scrambles away, but the bull is faster. A brutal impact sends him flying through the air. His phone slips from his grasp, the raw power stunning him. He crashes hard into the dirt. Lying broken, he's sure this is the end. But his phone lights up with a reminder. His fight against Genryu Soma is in 90 days. 1 month of brutal training passes. He's still in the arena, facing the beast. Bruised but not broken, his resolve has hardened. His goal remains the same: use its power. Unland a devastating counter. After training, Congo mocks his pathetic attempts. Camino frantically analyzes the bull's power and speed. He wonders how he can possibly counter such a beast. Congo smirks, telling him to use his head. He must learn to think while being thrown around. Back in the ring, Camino has an epiphany. His eyes widen with a sudden understanding. But the bull is still far too fast to react to. Congo laughs, telling him he's too slow. He yells at Camino to read the beast's movements. Camino tries to use foresight, tracking its charge. But the animal's attack is completely unpredictable. Congo mocks him, asking how anyone reads a beast. Once again, our boy is sent flying into the air. Blood trails behind him as he tumbles helplessly. Congo catches him, praising his incredible guts. Lying broken, Camino questions his entire approach. He wonders how to counter such a monster. Then, a butterfly flutters into the arena. The massive bull playfully chases after it. It leaps and bucks, completely distracted. From the dirt, Camino watches this strange display. The fearsome beast is mesmerized by tiny insects, and suddenly everything clicks into place. He jolts up, shouting that he's figured it out. The bull pauses, sensing a shift in the air. Camino stands, realizing prediction was the mistake. He knows he can't match its speed or power. To land a counter against this monster, he doesn't need to predict its moves. He just needs to make it move how he wants. He visualizes a new strategy: luring power. If he can't predict, he'll create an opening. He imagines baiting Congo into a perfect counter. In his mind, his master is ecstatic. Camino celebrates, the theory clicking into place. The bull thunders towards him once more. But this time, Camino doesn't dodge. He meets the charge, redirecting its immense force. He's still sent flying, but Congo roars with laughter. On the ground, Camino grins, tasting his first victory. With this power, he might even beat Genryu. Suddenly, a massive hand grabs him from behind. A huge man lifts him into a powerful hold. And with incredible ease, he's thrown through the air. The man apologizes, saying he couldn't resist the urge. He introduces himself as Nago, an Okinawan sumo champion. Congo explains this as his friend, Camino's new trainer. Our boy is stunned by the sudden development. Congo explains the rules of this unique grappling art. Nago is hailed as the absolute strongest in grappling. The sumo champion towers over him, a new wall to climb. His next test, countering the ultimate grappler. Camino is immediately flipped and slammed into the ground. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, at the Fight Rankings headquarters, a producer named Shimazaki Kazuya makes an appearance. The producer presents a match card for final approval. A powerful figure considers the proposal over his cigar. He is Keita Ryuzen, CEO of the Fight Rankings. Shimazaki praises the spectacular fight lineup, but he expresses concern over one particular match. The skill gap is so huge it might be a disaster. Keita's sharp tone makes the producer flinch. The CEO shares his cold philosophy on life. Money and status are things you take from others. A flashback shows the strong preying on the weak. This is the fundamental law of his world. He speaks of the fighters who live by force, an arena where men risk everything in brutal clashes. This is the very essence of his fight rankings. He looks at the phone, at Camino Kasuke's profile, a boy who is always beaten and oppressed. Yet he dared to step onto this violent stage. With a sudden kick, Keita shatters the phone. The producer flinches as glass rains down around him. A wild, excited glint appears in Keita's eye. He wants to witness this kid's insanity firsthand. 3 months pass, it's finally match day. The bloody carnival to crown the strongest begins. The stage is a back alley, the holy ground of fighting. Camino waits, his expression a mix of fear and resolve. In the waiting room, Camino is hunched over, nervous. He never imagined he'd fight in the main event. The sheer scale of the arena makes him tremble. A bearded fighter tells him it's just battle shivers. The announcers begin, their voices booming. Kamino's head snaps up as a name is called. From the blue gate, Toshiro Sakata enters the stage. He once suffered a crushing loss to Kamino, but since then, he's been on a winning streak. A tyrant whose momentum seems unstoppable. Ranked 411th, Sakata Toshiro is a new man. Kamino watches his old rival on the monitor. The bearded fighter lanes in with a dark rumor. Sakata has been fighting non-stop, crushing high rankers. Kamino is stunned by this revelation. Now the next fighter is called from the red gate. A former detective with a very unusual resume. He couldn't contain his violent streak. Kyudo Shunji and ex-cop here to rehabilitate punks. The two fighters stare each other down intensely. The ex-cop smirks, eager to punish a brat. Sakata glares back, promising to show him real fear. They take their positions for an all-out clash. Kamino watches, his heart pounding in his chest. The fight begins and Sakata immediately grabs a bottle. Sakata wields the bottle like a weapon. The ex-cop taunts him for being a minor. Sakata lunges, swinging the bottle wildly, but he misses, shattering it on the wall. He uses the swing to close the distance. Kyudo smirks, ready to make his arrest. Sakata tosses the broken neck into the air. The ex-cop is momentarily distracted. It's a feint, the real attack hits his gut. Glass shards spray across Kyudo's face. Sakata follows up with a brutal straight punch. The crowd gasps, wondering if it landed, but Sakata's eyes show pure focus. Kyudo catches the punch, trapping his arm. He counters with a vicious elbow strike. The blow lands clean, drawing blood. Sakata stumbles, his head dropping low, but he swings back with a wild haymaker. The ex-cop is stunned, it had no effect. Sakata fires back with overwhelming force. Kyudo is sent flying, blood spraying everywhere. A brutal kick sends him crashing down. Sakata doesn't let up, landing another blow. The punch connects with sickening force. He keeps punching even after Kyudo is out cold. The winner is announced, Sakata Toshiro. Kamino watches, horrified by the brutality. His mentor notes Sakata is a different brawler now. The fighter exits through the red gate and comes face to face with Kamino. Our boy freezes, caught completely off guard. Sakata turns his back, starting to walk away. He taunts Kamino for looking so scared. A flashback reveals what drove him here. He once had it all at Sakata Corporation, but after a great loss, he was cast out. He was forced to leave with nothing. He vowed to climb back from the bottom, using nothing but his own two fists. Back in the present, he issues a threat. Kamino is left completely stunned. The bearded man translates, he's waiting at the top. He explains Sakata threw everything away for strength. As the next match is announced, the mentor tells Kamino he's the same. Anyone who can focus on one thing is strong. Kamino clenches his fist, remembering his training. He reflects on his own life, he has no status. He has no money to support his family. And after years of beatings, no confidence. He realizes this is the only place to win it all. The next match is announced, rank 601 Kamino versus the formidable rank 30 Genryu.